That's right. We're right here this afternoon. I tell you what, I don't know if you know about this young guy, but he's going to be one to watch. It is Gage Cervanka. He is a senior at Emerald. You may have seen his picture in the paper not long ago. Wasn't that just recently? National Signing Day, was that last week? Week before?
I do believe so, yes, ma'am.
All right, and he is going to Clemson, but he's done a lot of other things along the way. We wanted to congratulate you, Gage, for all your accomplishments. It's good to have you sitting across from us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We're really excited. I think we also have Coach Mack here this afternoon, and Coach Mack got to tag along going to California with you to the Semper Fidelis Bowl. How you doing today, Coach Mack?
Oh, we're great.
We're great? You know, you just said you were over at Westview. What was happening at Westview here?
Oh, we just had some athletes coming over for spring sports and some weightlifters and making sure they were getting on the right bus and doing the right things, getting over there.
Right, okay. Well, you know, it's a lot going on. What did you feel about the season, Coach Mack, for Emerald? They ended up with a good season. How did you feel about it?
The football season?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of fun. Had some big wins, and you know, the senior class we had was awful special, and you know, Gage was a part of that, and you know, he's been so much of a regular out there for the last 4 years. It's hard to imagine playing football at Emerald without him, but you know, we will next year. But it was a great season, and had a great senior class. Had a big win versus Wren at high school, who was undefeated, and got to defeat one of his teammates next year, Kelly Bryant. That was tough, but you know, we had a good season, 10-3, and had a lot of good things happen to us.
You know, it seems like the football team has come a long way from your first season here to where you are now. It's really been winding it up.
Well, that first season, we got off to a poor start. Went 0-6, I think. I don't really remember it, but
right.
Ended up making the playoffs that year. In the end, that team got better, but yeah, we've made steady progress. And like I said, Gage's group, that senior group, and has had a lot to do with that.
Now, how's the team going to be next year without, I got to ask, Gage, how is this team going to be next year without these seniors here? What are you thinking as they move and progress forward?
Well, you know, it'll be a tough class to replace, and, you know, we've lost a lot of good athletes, but, you know, we've got our program in place, and hopefully it'll take hold, and we can find some players that can fill in for some of these guys, but there's no doubt that it's going to take us some time to replace. You know, you don't replace Gage Cervanka. You really don't. You find somebody else to take his spot, but you're not going to replace that kind of athlete that's been there 4 years right off the bat.
Well, gosh, Gage, how does that make you feel here this afternoon to hear those words from Coach Mack?
I mean, it makes me feel good, but I mean, also kind of makes me feel bad because I mean, this is where I went to high school and all that, and I'm gonna be able to graduate from there. I mean, you're always going to look back to them on Friday nights and just want to see what they've done, and hopefully they do good. So I'm hoping that I put an imprint with the underclassmen, and so they've seen how to play the game and just kind of seen how everything goes, and I'm hoping I could kind of lead them in the right direction to be able to play football and just kind of be the best players that they can be for Emerald.
Sure. Well, you know, I think you all have had some outstanding wins, and as you move forward here, but right now you're in the middle of wrestling season. How's wrestling going?
It's going good. I'm still undefeated right now. We are right now we're got a little free period. We lost to the second round of playoffs for team wrestling to West Oak. They should be going up for state soon, but next weekend was upper state individual. So our team, we have 13 out of 14 qualify, so that's really good. So the majority of our team is still in there. Just everything's going good. We've got maybe not a handful of matches left, so just trying to finish up strong here and try to win my fourth state championship.
Well, you know, you have got to look back over these 4 years. How are you feeling about getting ready? You told me before we came on the air that this is your last team sport here, and it's going to be finishing up pretty soon. What do you think about going on to Clemson?
I mean, I'm excited to be able to go to Clemson. I'm really looking forward to the opportunities and experience things I'm able to experience when I get up there with everything that Clemson has to offer, not only with their sports and their great football team, but just academics. I'm able to broaden my view of things, so to speak. But I mean, I'm just excited about the whole thing, and I'm gonna miss being at Emerald just because all my brothers and everything, all the family I've made here. So I mean, I hope everything goes well once I'm gone.
Now, as far as what will you miss the most, do you think, about Emerald?
Just all my friends, everybody I met, the coaches, I mean, all the teachers and everything, because I mean, we're all so close. I mean, I've pretty much seen them almost every day for 4 years, because I mean, there's really no off time, because I've gone straight from football to wrestling, back to football, and it's just gonna be hard not seeing the regular faces that I see every day.
You know, what do you think about, though? You know, is football the most important thing when you go off to college? Is it going to be the football gaming, the football team, the most important thing?
No, ma'am. It's always God's number one, family, then you go to school. I mean, you're a student athlete, so sports is never always number one. If anything, you got to look at your academic comes first because you are a student athlete. So you got to get the grades right, and you got to get all that right to be able to be an athlete and be able to qualify and be able to play.
Now, I understand that's Coach Mack's attitude, that you got to have the grades to be able to play.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And has that served the team well, do you think?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. I know that every day after practice, if there's somebody that we always talk and say if you don't have a certain GPA or certain grades in a class, you have to go tutoring that next morning. If you can't get a ride there, one of the coaches somebody will come pick them up and make sure they're there, because you definitely have to have the grades to be able to graduate and get an education, because that's definitely first. I mean, you need an education to be able to get a job and everything like that.
Wow. I think that's great, because so many times we've heard that it was all about the athletics. Now, I got to ask you, you're going to Clemson, great school. What are you going to be majoring in?
My goal is to see how pre-med is. Kind of want to be able to be a doctor in the future. If not, then I'm going to look into engineering.
Wow, those are two big fields.
Yes, ma'am.
That's pretty ambitious. Of course, you're at a great school for either one there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can't wait.
So, Coach Mack, now, he ended up getting into the Semper Fi Bowl, and of course, that was back in January. You went along with him with this experience, of course, and did your parents go too?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
so this was definitely a family affair, huh?
Definitely, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Coach, what did you think about the whole experience of going out there and being part of this?
I was tremendously impressed. I thought that the Marines did just an excellent job of taking care of the kids. I thought they were not just there to put on a football game, but I think they made a difference. Even the short time they had with the kids, I thought they really sent a really good message. I think the kids all benefited from being there. So I was tremendously impressed with the way they treated the kids and what they taught them. And it was just not just go put on a game. I actually think they made a big difference in their lives. And of course, to have the coaches out there, have the opportunity to go watch him play one more time in high school, and and get to go to California was awfully special. So I was just tremendously impressed with that All-Star game.
Now, did they look for you to do any coach? Were you all helping, or was it totally another separate coaches and everything?
No, we didn't. I didn't have to work.
You didn't have to work.
No, I was able just to go enjoy and enjoy him playing, and we went to the banquet, and that was awful special. And it was really, really neat because they didn't expenses, they didn't shortcut, and I really, I've been to a couple of those other games, and they're all fine games, but I really thought that the kids probably benefited more from this Marine Bowl just because I thought they were really taught them a lot about stuff that just really didn't necessarily involve football, which I thought was awful special.
Don't the Marines actually use this for promoting the fact of what the Marines and everything are about? Isn't that, I think I read something about that. Is that what you got out of that, Gage?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. They didn't just come up there and say, "Oh, this is all about football." I mean, they wanted us to be better people for our communities. We went out into a rec, I guess you could say a rec league type deal, to see some kids after we finished up on practice. We went out there and played a little football with them and kind of got to teach them what the Marines are, because the Marines aren't just people that go over and fight for our country. They're also here in our community and try to make the United States better and just everything like that. Make sure everyone's okay.
That's pretty cool. Did they try to get you to become a Marine?
No, ma'am, not at all. They told us right when we first got there that this isn't like a recruiting trip for them. This is we're here to play football and just kind of become better people. But they also said that if we ever wanted to come talk to somebody and they could give us information about things, but they did not force it upon us at all.
Wow. That's great.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the field that you came from on this is pretty huge, and we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors, then we'll be back. You got to hear how Gage Cervanka from little old Greenwood ended up in the Semper Fidelis Bowl. Hey, don't you go away. We'll be right back. Oh, that's right. We are having a great time here this afternoon with Gage Cervanka and with Coach Mack. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this Semper Fidelis Bowl. I don't think a lot of people here realize what a huge deal this was, Gage, to go on this, particularly maybe in school they did at Emerald, but maybe people in the community didn't. But you were chosen, you were on the East team. It divides between the Mississippi, west is to California, and of course east to our coast here. Do you have any idea how many people were in this that were, or how many were chosen?
I want to say there about 150 to 100 on each team. No, not that many.
But how many people actually, when it started, they had to pick from probably a huge list. That's what
Definitely.
I'm thinking.
Yes, well, it had to be a huge list. You got all these seniors all across the nation that they're choosing from. So being able to be picked from that big old bucket of people is just a great opportunity and experience. I'm very blessed that I got that opportunity.
Right. You just think about it was only one team for the East and one team for the West, and this was a big Semper Fidelis Bowl. And we actually talked to Tabitha Bartley, who was, I guess, the coordinator for the Semper Fidelis Bowl down here. And she says that the selection process involves media coverage, coaches' recommendation, and word of mouth. And they also look at overall statistics, but they look at how you are in the community service, grades. It's not just all about the football.
No, ma'am, not at all.
So I think that was super awesome that you got to go and that was that big a deal. And of course, what's the Marines' motto? Honor, courage, and commitment.
Commitment, yes, ma'am.
So I'm sure they were looking at all of those things as they brought this group of guys in.
Definitely, yes, ma'am.
Did you make any good friends while you were out there?
Yes, ma'am. Majority of everybody on the team, because they had a players' lounge on there, and they had some game systems set up. They had TV, so this was during the national championship, the playoffs for college football. So that was kind of the first time this ever happened. So we're down there watching football and playing some games and some pool and things like that. So we made a lot of friends because there's majority of everybody was going to a big Division I school. A lot of Stanford guys, Alabama, some Georgias and things like that. That and also had 4 other Clemson commits up there with me. So I've been able to hang out with them and just kind of get closer to them because I haven't really talked to them much except for when they were up at Clemson on game days. So just being able to be with them, kind of see what they're like and how they act. I don't know how to word it.
Yeah.
But just being up there was just a great experience.
That is very, very, very cool. So here we have Gage Cervanka. He was the team won, the East won. I think it was 24-3.
Yes, ma'am.
How was the game that day?
It was very fun. Our defense played great, as you can see, because they only got 3 points. So we constantly subbed in with first. I guess you can't really claim a starter because we always subbed in and out. But everybody was playing great, and our offense performed. So it was a very exciting game for us.
That's great. So what position did you play?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. Okay, so there you go. This was a big deal. I wanted to talk about it because I really wanted everybody to know about it because I think it is that awesome. Now, do you know how many people there were from South Carolina? Was there very many?
There's 2. It was just me and Noah Green.
Yeah,
Because he was from Bowling Springs, so just me and him.
See,
There's
that's
some
2.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Was there any state that had a lot more students?
California definitely had a lot. Yeah, they
They
definitely
got a
had
lot
the
of
home,
people, yeah.
Yeah, they had the home field advantage too, but it was. I mean, there was a lot of kids all over from everywhere, every state.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. It is an awesome, awesome thing that you got to go from Emerald and compete and learn more about the future of football, but also you are a really big state champion wrestler. You've been state champion, what, 3 times?
3 times in my high school career and 2 when I was in middle school. So my 7th and 8th grade year, 1 state middle school, and then from freshman, sophomore, and junior year.
So you are still really in competing a lot because the state championship is coming up again here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And will you break some records here?
Yes, ma'am. If I win this 4th state championship, I will be the first 4-time state champion heavyweight in South Carolina history. So I mean, it's exciting times coming up.
Does that put any pressure on you?
A little bit, but I try not to focus on everything. My thing is I've just been saying to myself, just go out there, have fun. If you lose, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, if I lose, it's just a loss. I mean, it's not going to kill me or anything. I mean, I have bigger things coming for me at Clemson. So, but I mean, my goal is to go out with a win and just kind of finish my record just with 1 loss. So, just kind of hope that's it.
So, what do you think, Coach Mack? Is he gonna pull this off in the end here? I mean, this will be a huge win because it will be the only person to run 4 years in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, you got to really think about that. Let that settle in. Gage may not have pressure, but I feel it. But I'm pulling for it. You know, we've all been pulling. You know, we don't want to put any more pressure on it than it is. And I think, like he said, eventually he'll have a lot bigger fish to fry. But it's pretty special when you have a chance to do something that nobody in the history of this fine state, with all its athletics, has ever accomplished. That's a separator. And he knows that, but. Just his overall record, he's won so many matches it's hard to keep up with, but to only have 1 recorded loss in 4 years is it's incredible. He's an incredible wrestler. He's an incredible football player. So, this next week's very exciting. It's just a big separator. If he can somehow pull off a 4-time heavyweight wrestling champion, that's extremely special.
Wow. All right, well, you heard it right here from Coach Mack right here on WCRS. I tell you what, this is going to be one of those experiences in life that as you grow up and you look back on it, my husband says he went to West Point. He said life was never better than when he was at West Point. He said he knew when he was at West Point that life could get no better. And you know what? He proved it out in life, yeah. So I know that you are looking forward to getting up there to Clemson, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's going to be good times coming ahead.
Good times coming ahead. And what do you think the first time? I just want to kind of set the stage. What do you think the first time you run out onto the field at Death Valley, coming through the tunnel there? What do you think?
Actually, we'll be coming from the hill, but
the hill. Sorry,
yes, ma'am. No, that's fine. I don't really think words will be able to describe it. But I mean, it's gonna be something special. I know that. I know my mom's gonna be tearing up when she sees it.
Yeah, that's an experience you can't really describe. I imagine till you go down that hill, I'd be thinking, gosh, don't fall down. But no, he's certainly will have earned every step of that hill. You just don't find kids like the one that's sitting to the left of me very often. I had the opportunity to coach some great players, but I don't know if I've coached anybody with the work ethic that Gage has. And, what makes Gage special is he's never considered himself to be special, and that's a hard trait to learn for all of us, considering the accolades that he's had and how much success he's had. He's always been a fighter and never let that go to his head, and that's half the battle. And he'll go through that again at Clemson, hopefully. So he'll have earned every step of it, and we'll all be very proud to see. He's also going to be the first football player at Emerald to have signed at a major Division I in 20 years. So he's kind of blazed a lot of paths, and of course next week he's got a chance to do that again. So we'd like to have him come back and do it all over again, but unfortunately you got to say bye to guys like that.
Wow. Does that give you a little bit of a big head right here?
some people would, but I mean, it's. I mean, I'm putting. I don't know, man. I don't know what to describe. How I'm honored that how he feels to me, but I mean, you can't get a big head like he said. I mean, I just kind of stay humble with everything. That's what my parents taught me how to be. You just gotta stay humble and just kind of praise people what they do and just kind of be thankful for what you got.
Well, you are an awesome guy, because I tell you what, every time that I would walk out on the field with Coach Mack, after the games at Emerald, I'd stand there and I'd look at the lights and I'd go, wow, this is pretty awesome. But I cannot imagine how it would be to be with those stands filled with people looking and on just to try to stay focused. That's the other thing. How do you stay focused on the game? I mean, when you have all that cheering and all that going on.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, you just gotta kind of tone things out. I guess the more you play, the easier you get used to the crowds and everything like that. But I mean, the crowds definitely do play a big part in the game, because I mean, if they're all cheering and everything's all loud, you kind of get pumped up and things. But you just gotta stay focused on what's ahead of you and what you're trying to accomplish. And I think everybody, for the past couple of years that I've been there, everyone's been focused and everything. So we haven't had any problems with guys being distracted during the game.
Well, that makes a difference. And of course, I think Coach Mack being so focused on having good students on the team too, and that's changed too, hasn't it, Coach Mack? It used to be that being a big football player was it, but now students, and in order to make it into college and even into the pros, they have to have a good image and have everything just right. There can't be anything that's even though you might be a fantastic football player, if you don't have the grades, it's hard to take it any further anymore.
That's absolutely correct. But you don't play sports or football in a vacuum. Normally, there are not many really good football players that are good people. I mean, obviously some of them are stronger students than others, but those guys tend to weed themselves out if they don't know how to be a first-class person. But it's a learning process too. We have those that are not far along the path as we'd like them to be, but we try to get them there. But it makes life easier, like I said, when you got Gage Cervanka's on your team.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Mack, I know it's going to be hard next year to rebuild that team, but I think with the start and with guys like Gage Cervanka and some of the other seniors that are going to be gone, hopefully they have at least started molding the team towards something for the future. That's
true. This group, I've told them, they set the bar at a pretty high level, and that's what you're looking for to raise the standards. And this senior class certainly did that, and Gage was the leader of that class. So, that's a good thing. And hopefully we'll have another class come through like them. But at the very minimum, they have definitely set the bar where it should be, and we'll try to live up to that. But it'll be good to go up to Clemson and watch him run down that hill. It'll be awful gratifying.
Absolutely. And Gage Cervanka, we wish you all the best. Now, when is the big game next week?
Well, it's during the weekend, I want to say.
It's on the weekend, on Saturday?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, it's either Friday or Saturday. I'm not really sure. I don't really keep up with the dates. I mean, I kind of get informed a couple days before. I kind of just focus on practice and get my drilling partner and all my other teammates right. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Where will you be going to? Where's the final match? Is that?
This won't be the final. This is
Upper State will be
at Seneca.
The Seneca is hosting. They're actually having it at their middle school, but and then the championships will be at Anderson.
Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not this week, and that's not this next week, or?
It's a coming week.
Coming week, okay. Not this weekend, the following week,
That's
is that right? Okay. Well, we wish you all the best, Gage Cervanka. It certainly has been nice to have you stop by WCRS. Thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you for having me.
And God bless you, and good luck for the future.
Thank you.
All right, and Coach Mack, always a pleasure to have you on the air with us. Let's hear a word from our sponsors, and I'll be right back.